Have you ever, you crazy mother?
The East Roast Podcast.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah, we'll let
listening?
it go. Okay, that's good. All right.
Crazy
You ready?
mother.
All right, cool. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the podcast. This is the East Roast Podcast. I'm Tony, and you know who I'm with. I'm with my partner right here, just like I am every week. That's Steve Rinaldi.
Oh, man, what's up, Tony?
What's happening, brother? What's going on?
Same stuff, bro. Busy month, February. Got a lot of shows.
Yeah.
A lot of shows back home too. I've been going up to Philly a lot, my hometown. So that's been great. It's just weird sometimes going home because you got family support,
Yeah.
but
they judge a little.
you know what I say a lot to people? I say that being a comic in a small town where everybody lives a certain way, at times it gets, I don't know what the word is. It gets a little, you feel like the odd person in the group. Like, that's still my family. That's still my home.
Yeah.
But, I'm living a lifestyle so different
It's
than
you know,
people
to
I
them,
grew up with.
To
Does that
them,
make
it's
sense?
unconditional. I mean,
Yeah.
unconventional.
Right.
And you know, a lot of times people they don't get it. They don't get artists. They don't get people who get out there and do something that's not the norm. You know, and I guess they're afraid for you. You know, but I hate that. I can't stand
Yeah.
that. You know, because you do get support, but it's not the kind of support like. Let's just say this. If you were going to be, you know, going to college to be a doctor, I mean, you know, you get all this crazy support. You're like, oh, you know, Steve's going to be a doctor.
A
Steve's gonna be-"
33-year-old freshman.
Yeah,
That would be great.
yeah,
No, I'm just
right.
kidding. I get what you're
But you
saying.
get what I'm saying, and then you know. But if you say, look, you know, I want to, you know, I'm an artist. I want to do something in my life that, you know, and they're like, oh, you know, I don't know, and you don't get that same excitement. But I know tons and tons of people that went after their dreams, their unconventional dreams, and you know they've made it. And, you know, the support comes later, and that's
Right.
not when it's supposed to come.
No doubt.
You know, it's supposed to come when you're doing it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, these years, like when you're grinding your way and you're paying your dues and you're developing your voice as an artist, and you know, you're getting a lot of shows that you're just a part of a small production or something not that big. Occasionally, you know what's weird? When I first started, that's when I got the most support from family and friends.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because it happened. I was talking to a comic about this recently, and he was saying you get all that support in the beginning when you first start. Oh, Steve's a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not polished.
Right.
You're not living it. You're not that. You know, you haven't really developed much of an act. You get a lot of support early.
Yeah.
These years, like, as you're growing and you're trying to dive into it as a full-time gig, that's when it's like, you're still doing this shit?
Yeah. I know.
If you're not like killing it, I'm
Yeah.
saying on like a national level or getting TV time and stuff like that. But, you know, family and friends, you know, it's just going back home. I love being around my family and friends, but I love being around like-minded people.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, meeting people like you.
Yeah.
You know, you've lived a life where you've dived into
It's
things that
unconventional,
aren't
yeah.
basic.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, so like for me, well, first, I mean, did you go to college at all, or
I went to community college
Did
for
you?
a year and a half.
year and a half,
And,
it just wasn't for you, or
Well, my best friend at the time, he died of cancer, and it affected me. I was in college at the time, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. But you know, that my friend passing, Patrick, it made me appreciate time. And there was two things I always wanted to do. My favorite movie growing up was Casino.
yeah,
I always wanted to work at a casino, and I always wanted to be an entertainer.
yeah,
So I dropped out. I went to dealing school, professional dealing school
Right.
for casinos that summer. I started working at an Atlantic City casino, and then 2 years after that, I did my first open mic, and the rest is history.
Yeah,
Here I am
yeah.
now. I'm a casino manager. I help manage a casino, and I at nighttime I'm up and coming comic.
Yeah.
So you know, it things happen in life that, like, if you would have talked to 18-year-old me and said, hey, at 33 years old, you're going to have a day job, and you're going to
Right.
jump in your car, and you're going to drive
And
to
be a
New York
full-time
and Philly
comic.
every
Yeah.
night to 1 in the morning. You're
Yeah.
going to keep doing it every day. I would say, you're crazy.
But
that don't
you would have
sound
said,
fun.
Well, no, you think so? I think now I would have thought that you'd have been like, dude, that's the life I want.
At 18, bro,
Yeah.
I was just...
Yeah.
I was like partying.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I wanted to be out all the time, and
So I didn't go to college. I don't regret it though. Because especially today, I see a lot of young people. They have these degrees, and they have this crushing debt, right? But the jobs that they're going for, a lot of times the degree doesn't really get them to where they want to be. I mean, yeah, of course, if you're going to be, a lawyer, or if you're going to go in the medical industry, obviously you need that. But I look at it like this. I had a 4-year head start on kids that went to college. So now I have those 4 years of, making money, yes, but I learned so much out there in the world in those 4 years. And, so they have, debt all 4 years. Now they have to find a job. They're getting, it's getting a little later. And I felt like a lot of times I'm like, I don't know if I would have wanted to go that route. I mean, I can't imagine having $100,000 in debt, being in my early 20s. My friends are all kind of, considering, getting homes by that time and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, man,
I envy the person that knew what they wanted to do their whole life
Yeah.
at 20. I
Yeah,
envy
and
that
you know what?
person because
See, the thing
I
is,
really,
though-
I really didn't. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is, though, a lot of times people who do know what they want to do at that age, they're not doing it when they're going to college. A lot of them want to get out there in the world. I would suggest that, and I think that it's almost in more. It makes more sense these days. I look at my dad's and your dad's generation. College is not what made them get to the top. They got a job without a college education, and they continue to learn and learn and learn, become valuable to the company, and boom, they're at the top.
Right.
Then, for some weird reason, it started to change, and then around my generation, it was like if you don't have a degree, you can't be good enough. Which I know plenty of people who have a degree that they were maybe sometimes forced into that direction in life by their parents. I mean, that doesn't make a happy life, does it? But
I don't think so.
no, I don't think so
I don't think-
either.
and I also think the older I get, I feel like college is a business.
Yeah, well, that's in a whole nother
Yeah,
thing,
it's just think about
Yeah.
what you pay. I don't look. If you know what you want to do, I think college is a great thing.
Yeah.
But like
But
I
you don't always
at
need
33
college
years old,
to get there. You don't
yeah.
always need college to get there, and I think that it has changed a
Really?
little bit. I think a lot of employers have started to realize that their best employees are there because they're their best employee, not because of the paper that they showed up with. You know what I mean? Good, hardworking people, they exist whether they have a degree in it or not.
Right.
You could teach anyone to do something that they're passionate about or that they show up to every day and do a good job. So in some ways, I just don't like the idea, one, that you can't get a job because you don't have that degree, and two, I don't like that the degree costs so much to get the job and you spend decades trying to pay back the bill to get you the job. So are you ahead? It's like, I don't get it.
So let me ask you a question. You have two daughters,
Yeah.
right? Two little girls. Are you're not going to push on them that
We're gonna encourage-
education is key?
We're
Like,
going to
I'm curious.
encourage. We're going to encourage college, but like if my kids wanted a communication degree or something like that, I think in some ways I would tell them that I would introduce them to someone who can help them, where maybe they can intern or they can do something where they might realize, hey, I can learn all this on the job. There still are ways to get in on the ground level, and 4 years later, you're not on the ground level anymore. You're a little higher. Now, the kids that went to school for that, they're at ground zero with all that debt. Where, let's say if that was the direction my children wanted to go in, they're 4 years in. They're no longer interns. They're now employees of the company, and now they continue on. And again, depending on what there are certainly times that you need a degree. I mean, I'm not disputing that, but I'm just saying that I kind of like the head start. If it's a degree, if it's a job where you think a degree is going to get you there faster, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always
I
happen.
think we put too much pressure on young people to know what they want out of life at such a young age.
Yeah.
I think after high school, you should have like a 2-3 year period where you just really, you work at a restaurant or something like that, an office, and you just get a feel of what you want out of life, because I look back, I knew what I want, I knew what I wanted to do, but I also think the fact that it was just so not universally normal.
Yeah.
Who says they want a career? But I never said that while I pursue a career in show business, I'm going to not work.
Right.
I knew it as
Yeah.
that's just a personal choice. I mean,
You weren't going to be anybody's burden, but you wanted to continue to, I mean, is it really that unconventional, really? I mean, it's just different. It's not, there are certain areas that you can live where it's very conventional that somebody wants to be in the industry of, actors, comedians, all these things. We don't live in that area.
It's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Because the work comes and goes, and you just got to keep so much factors into show business as far as, like, chasing it at a professional level.
Yeah.
Because the highs and lows, you got to be able to handle them. It takes a certain type of person.
So
I know for you with your history on QVC and stuff like that, you probably have similar stories where you got to be out there grinding and
For me, I kind of college wouldn't have been for me anyway. I mean, I needed to be out there. I knew what I wanted to do, and it was a lot of things. So I had an odd, thing where, some people say, I don't know what I want to do. I wanted to experience everything in life when I was a kid, to be honest with you. I mean, there wasn't anything that I wasn't interested in. So I couldn't really zero in on that. And if you look at my life as a whole, you start to realize, wow, that's the way I live too. So if I were, told I had to go find this one career, I would probably be the most unhappy person that you would know. I needed that freedom, but I didn't waste it, So when school was over, I wasn't going to college. I started a little landscaping business, right? And the landscaping business started to get a little bit bigger, and I started to keep going. And then, I didn't settle in there. I mean, I had that, and I was interested in real estate. So I did what I could to get our first home, It was a home we didn't even live in. We were renting, but I bought a home, with my wife, and we rented it out to people. So, people thought we were crazy. They're like, why wouldn't you live in the home that you own? But, it was an investment. Something I did very young. It's an odd thing to do, right? You don't even own a home, or you don't own a home that you live in. So then we sold that, and we just started to get into that, man. And we did multiple homes, And then one day, I had all these ideas in my head, and I said, you know what? Some of those things are products that could probably be, invented. So I started inventing products, and it's so crazy. So, I invented some products, got them into QVC, got them all around the world and stuff, And again, if I were told, by my parents, which in some ways I'm glad they weren't like that, you're going to be this or else we'll be disappointed because, this is what our family does. So you're going to go to college for that, and that's what you're going to be. I probably would have done fine. I work hard in whatever I do, but, it would have made me a very unhappy person. Right. I don't know what my life would be like.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have taken in as much life as I had. Obviously, there are a lot of failures in those, right? You when you're trying a lot of things, you're going to fail sometimes.
Right.
But failing made me better at when I succeeded.
My fear was always if something goes wrong, I never wanted to put pressure on my family to help.
Yeah.
That was always just my personal thing that I dealt with. That man, I really got to be accumulating money off this lane for me to be in it full time because I don't want it to rely on anybody else.
That is
it's crazy how much money management goes into diving into multiple like someone like you had a business, then you went into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that remarkable because not being patient or doing something before time tells you to, bro, you're right back at square one. You're sleeping on a cat. Like,
and I didn't know how to do any of those things. But, I think that I didn't have any of that. You can't do it, don't do it.
Oh no,
around me.
I never
Yeah.
had any of that
Yeah.
either, and I still don't
and
have
that's
any
where
of that.
that's where any success that you're going to have is going to it's you got to attribute it to that too. You have to say to yourself, I had at least some positivity. Negativity is the worst, and listen, you got to cast that away. If you're getting negativity during the times that you're trying to make your way through life and you're trying to do things, excuse me, that is it's just introducing you to the idea of failure all the time.
Yeah.
You got to have people that believe in you.
It depends how you measure success too. I mean, I don't know. For me, failure would be settling and not doing what I want.
Yeah.
You got to find the way to do what you want. That's
Yeah.
what life's about. You want to challenge yourself. I don't know, man. I just can't explain.
That's it right there, man.
I
Challenge.
never was the guy that, hey, I'm going to drive to work every day. I'm going to clock out. I'm going to come home.
Yeah.
I'm going to have dinner. I'm going to sit in my man cave.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch my shows. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do the same thing again. Like, I was, and I'm hoping that that's not a bad way to be, because I do want to be a parent.
And not that that's not in our future someday. I mean, we're not, we know that, if, listen, you don't have children. You don't have a wife yet. You don't have things, you're okay with that. I mean, that's not a failure in any way. It's just that there's so many people that have never had the opportunity to try the things that they're passionate about. If it doesn't happen, you can go to bed at night and say, you know what? I tried.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, a lot of things didn't happen for me, but I'm glad I tried them, So if in the future I start grinding out doing the same thing, it's because I have responsibilities. I'll not, I won't live a life where I say, gosh, man, people told me I had to do things a certain way, and I was wrong or crazy for trying it another way.
Did your perspective change once you had children? Like, and if so, in what way? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like, that always is
It
something
did,
that's
yeah.
in the back of my head.
It did. I mean, I don't know if it changed my direction, or the kind of person that I am. It's just that I knew that I had to do it. I probably started to do things even better, and hard, like work a little bit harder and try a little bit more to do it right. But it didn't change me in a way where I said, I got to, try to do something completely different.
Definitely.
And
You always enjoyed the work that you did.
you know what?
How
I mean,
many
I can
people
say that.
could
I
say
wake
that?
up every day and I look forward to the work that comes to me. I do a lot of B-roll and stuff like that for companies.
The last time me and you sat down and had lunch, you said something that really, it was a great thing to say. You were like, when my time comes and my kids are talking about their father's life, I want to make sure that they say, man,
It's hard to explain him.
Dad was a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That says a lot about you and the type of guy you are,
Well, I think, people like you and I think that is, it's hard for you to understand why that's important to you. It's always been important to me, man. It's always been important to me to be somebody that tried to do something that is left behind. Not only, things and work and stuff, but just, I try to be somebody that people, remember that they met. I try to be somebody that, has done something that, that maybe my great-great-grandchildren will say, that's pretty neat. He was a neat guy,
All right, and right at this moment, this is when the therapist walks in. Come on in. Sit right here. We're ready.
Yeah.
We've been prepping.
Yeah. But
I'm
what?
just saying, artists-
I don't think that's so strange, though.
No,
I
I'm
think
just
that
saying-
what I'm saying, anybody, it could be anybody doing any job right now. I think listening to that, they can say to themselves, you know something? That's a very, I think everybody has that in them.
But what's beautiful now, one of the perks of the internet and social media is now you're seeing people like us. There is a community
That they exist,
and a lot
yeah.
of them, because before you really didn't get a chance to see that there's people out there like this. I don't know. Am I wrong?
No,
now
you're
you see it
100%
more
right.
than ever. There's a
You know,
presence of artistic people.
That kind of stuff has changed a lot of people's conversations too, because now they're, especially like podcasts like this. I never was able to really get in on guys' conversations. You never really heard guys talk about things that matter. It almost seemed like, I don't know, should you even go there, because you don't know if it's safe to. Guys,
right.
They seem to not go to the heart, like to the to those kind of places in life. It's like, I don't want to talk about that shit.
Right.
There's a lot less of that now. I see, a lot of guys can talk about shit like that, like, your direction in life, or who you want, your family to think you are, or should I have gone to college, or, do I get support and all that stuff like that. I never heard men talk about that. I hear it a lot now. And the reason why is I think, things like that, it's kind of what changed me. I started to see some podcasts like Rogan. Rogan was one that really changed me, is that you see a perspective of a guy. He's a man's man. He's big muscular guy. He's into all the things that all men are, but yeah, he could talk about anything.
Yeah.
And I could find myself listening to it for hours.
He's very unique. He is who he is.
He's open to life,
and he
too.
owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not like Joe. Me and you can never be Joe Rogan. He is who he is. Like I'm not.
But you can learn
I'm
from
not
it.
into fitness. I don't
Yeah.
enjoy going to the
Yeah.
gym. I do that stuff because I have to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to live a long life.
Yeah.
So I'll push myself to go into the gym for an
Right.
hour. I'm sloppy in there. I rather just honestly eat as much as possible.
Yeah.
I never say no to a meal.
Yeah.
That's me. That's
Me too.
That's the type of guy.
That's
I
why
am.
I'm in the shape I'm in.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like
Yeah.
once May hits, I'm eating healthy. I'm running every day. I motivate myself because I also enjoy being outside. I want to. A personal choice is to look presentable when I'm laying, by the pool or on the
Yeah.
beach. But these guys that are heavily into fitness and stuff like that, I feel like it's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
People that are diehard into sports. As I've gotten older, I represent my city. I love all the Philadelphia sports teams, but some people get really angry when the Eagles and the Sixers do angry. Like that's something they should they should put cameras in barbershops all across Philadelphia and see how pissed off some people
I know
get.
people who don't even want to be around each other during football season because
they'll battle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, if you're not an Eagles fan, and actually wherever
And I
anybody
think it's
is,
a Philadelphia thing. We're so
Yeah.
passionate about
Yeah.
our sports teams.
Yeah. But you know what? I can't get into sports in that way where I start losing friends over it.
I've outgrown that.
Yeah.
And again, I have so many friends that are that way, and I
Yeah.
love them, and I get entertained by that. But I'm not that guy no more.
Yeah.
I don't lose my. I think that old school way. I think there's a scene in the Bronx Tale where Sonny says to Cologito, he's like Mickey Mantle makes $350,000 a year. He's like, if your father loses his job, see if Mickey Mantle's going to help him out and pay the bills.
Yeah.
As you
It's
get
true,
older, you
yeah.
start thinking.
You're spending so much time worrying about somebody what they're doing. You're right, man. It's crazy.
like-
Mickey Mantle doesn't give two shits that you're watching him. Just keep on pumping that money
It's
out.
the sad reality.
It's not coming back. All that energy you're casting one direction, it ain't coming back to you.
I don't know. It's just a different way of thinking.
Yeah.
But nah, man. It's just
Well, that's one of the reasons why. I hunted. I hunted for years since I was a kid. I gave it up
I
a
didn't
couple
know
few
that.
years ago. Yeah, but one of the reasons I gave up hunting, it wasn't that I didn't like hunting anymore. It was because I just got sick of hunters, the hunters.
community.
Yeah, it just was. People changed during that time. It wasn't. It was just a weird thing, man. And guys.
I had a moment. I had
Yeah.
a moment like that last month where I was at a comedy show. It was an open mic. It was a workout room, and I'm working out new material, and just the vibe and the support in the room from the other comics that
Yeah.
particular night. It was just a really weird feeling. And I definitely get what you're saying. How sometimes, but you also see how you enjoyed hunting.
Yeah.
When you got into hunting, you probably weren't worried about the other hunters. That
I was a kid too,
that probably.
so I was out of that politics
Right.
part of it.
like I never got into comedy to make friends or to be a part of
Yeah.
a community. Some people get into comedy for that. me, I just wanted to entertain and, affect people. And I always thought that this was something that I could do well at. And, that's why I'm trying to stick with it. But
imagine
I deal
giving
with
up.
moments like that.
Imagine
all the time.
giving up comedy because of that kind of stuff. I mean, there was more to it. I mean, I ran into people. I almost got into fights in the woods once. But it was, it was crazy. Not because of myself, but because, people are in the woods, that they don't belong. You belong there, and the next thing you know, there's an argument. And it just wasn't something I wanted to. It just wasn't fun to me anymore. You can't let. I guess in a way I'm saying something that I did and I shouldn't have done, but you can't let that kind of shit stop you from doing what you love.
Right, it's hard though.
I did get to the point where I didn't really like killing animals anymore, man. I don't know what it was. It just didn't. I don't think I could do it anymore. So. That was part of it also. I just realized how stupid it was in my life. You know what I mean? I don't judge on it.
How many years did you hunt?
I hunted, probably 15, 18 years, 16
It's tough
years.
to walk from. It's part of your life forever.
Yeah. It was weird, though, to change. Again, I don't know why you change your mind that way. But, again, and it happens. I know other hunters that have told me this. What's funny, man? I just don't want to shoot any deer anymore.
Well, a year 10, would you have walked, or would have been something? It would have hurt, like to leave it.
No,
year
I would've
10.
kept
You
it,
were
yeah.
much involved in it. That's kind of and
it was still enjoyable.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. And most of the comics that I know that walked away from comedy, it was because they just weren't enjoying it no more.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
You're doing it to enjoy it. So I always said, soon as I stop having fun with it, I'm done with it. But I mean, I honestly don't think that's ever going to come with stand up.
No.
But to hear a guy that for 15 years, an activity was a part of his life, and he just stopped enjoying it. Was that around the time your children were born, or?
No, it was a little bit before they were born.
Oh, okay.
But, once the kids were born, I realized I would have never continued on with it anyway,
Right.
My life totally changed once I had kids, There's just too many things to do now, Like we just had a birthday party last night for my 5-year-old. Sorry, for my 9-year-old. My 5-year-old just had a birthday party. But, and you're around all the kids, and you realize this is really a lot more fun than sitting in a tree. Then, she has a recital coming up in a few, months and stuff, and you start to get excited about that stuff. And I find myself watching way less sports, and, I don't know.
You know what I always wondered? You got two girls, they probably watch the same TV shows. You ever find yourself like doing stuff around the house and you start humming their music?
Oh, I do. I know. I sang.
I always said that. Like,
I've sang
you're
songs
probably
from their
listening
movies.
to their
yeah.
music in long car rides.
Yeah.
You're probably like sometimes washing the car, and all of a sudden you start singing like
Yeah.
Sesame Street songs. And
Yeah,
shit.
man. Well, that stuff's crazy. How it just
You're
gets
in a
your
house
head
with three
anyway.
girls.
Yeah,
so I can only imagine.
It does, man. It gets in your head, It's like, and plus they'll want to sing it with you. So, it's surprising how like all of a sudden you know all the words. It's like that's how catchy that shit is, man. It's crazy, man.
Ah, that's great.
You got some shows coming up, right?
Yeah,
What do you
man.
got coming on? What do you got
February 5th, Helium Comedy Club. I'm going to be on the card for a great Philly comic, David James, filming his first album.
Man.
Yeah, you can get those.
What are you
tickets.
hosting for him?
No, I'm not hosting.
Or you're-
I'm one of the comics.
You're
on
one
the
of the
show.
comics on it? Oh,
David
man.
James, one of my favorite Philly comics, a friend.
Dude, that's cool.
I was going to come out and support. He's giving me some stage time. Please go out and support David James. Great comic, great
he
guy.
is.
Look for that on Helium Comedy Club's website. Got some dates in Atlantic City, Bally's Tropicana at acjokes.com. I'll be there the whole weekend of February 6th. I'll be there the whole weekend of February 13th. Again, that's acjokes.com at Bally's and Tropicana. And also, we're doing this show in Magnolia, New Jersey. This place is called the Laughing Fox Tavern. We have a date February 20th. It's going to be Steve Rinaldi and friends. I have a bunch
cool,
of my
man.
comedian friends.
Oh, that's your show. Yeah.
The first one is February 20th. I'm actually going to reach out to the owner, see if we could tape a live cast there.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah.
That'd be great. We'll definitely do it. I mean, if he'll let us. I mean,
That's the Laughing Fox Tavern.
Laughing Fox Tavern.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Food's dynamite,
So
too.
so like the whole thing, like what started with the college, do college, don't do college. follow a path that you think is right for yourself or listen to people and stuff like that. I don't know what you really don't know, did you do the right thing or not? But if you feel like you did, I feel like I did. Do you feel like you've done the right thing?
You got to be righteous.
Yeah.
I'm big on that. You got to really be honest to yourself. I can't right now I can't see my life any other way.
No.
So it's like I never wanted to be that person
Do you ever
that settles down and lives a certain way.
Yeah.
Just because everybody else is doing it, and then I'm angry and I take it out
Yeah.
on the people around me.
Do you have family members or friends that like success equals a dollar amount? Because for me, success does not always equal dollars.
I do, but they never do support me.
Yeah.
They do support me, but again, it's a personal thing where it gets tough sometimes when
Yeah.
I'm around everybody and I'm living so different.
Yeah.
They're not hammering me to stop or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just when you're around everybody and they're not living like you. That's why like-minded people. You need a community of people to support each other.
For sure,
you know?
man. So because the reason I ask you that is because I've had moments in my life with people in my life, that they'll first thing they'll say is like, well, how'd you do? And they're asking about money,
Right.
but I'm like, wow, I was just on television selling my product in Australia. I went international with this thing. And there's like, you don't ask me about it. You just ask me, well, how'd you sell? How much did you sell? What'd you do?
Sometimes there's no price on those moments.
But what if I didn't sell well? I mean, does that mean that you're not proud of me anymore? It's like, so it's weird, man. I don't have that with people. When people are doing shit, I love people when they're doing shit, man. I encourage people to do stuff. I'm always the first one to be like that. I understand how much it takes to decide to do something that no one else is doing or no one, thinks that they can do. But, so when they get these moments like the one I just said, I want to know, how was it? It must have been exciting. It's just like I have a whole different mentality when it comes to that. I don't measure success in dollars. I mean, you'd hope it, the dollars become something that's big in your life. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, man, it's like I'm living every day. You're living every day. I'm doing shit that I just enjoy.
I like Steve Harvey's quote.
What's that?
It's your career is what you're paid for. Your calling is what you're made for.
Yeah,
love that
dude,
quote.
That's awesome, man.
I love that quote. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I want to tell you about somebody that I'm friends with, man. It's a kind of a perfect example. So this guy went and he's a friend of mine. He was a correction officer for years. He did his whole thing. He retired. He ended up getting hurt, so he had to retire a little early, but he retired. And then he was doing the retirement thing. And about 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago or so, he said, you know what, man? I want to start a business. He never started a business before. He wanted a business. I think he did some little things here and there on weekends when he had his job with the corrections officers. But so he says, I just want to start something. He started a seal coating business where you seal driveways, right? You seal and blacktop them. And half a year went by. He's doing pretty good. Had a nice summer, right? Next year, he starts line striping. This is a guy in his mid-40s. Completely changed his life.
Talk about the risk.
Every day he gets out there. Now he's got this really, what I would consider a pretty big company, South Shore Seal Coating. I'm just going to throw that out there just in case you're in the South Jersey area. But his name's Angelo. But the thing is, I look at his life and I say to myself, man, I'm so proud of him. This is a guy I was friends with. We'd sit around the pool. He's retired. He didn't have to do anything. He felt like there was something that he was missing in life, and he wanted to get out there and start over and do something and get, something else. He could have just sat around and been retired. I love people like that who say, you know what, I'm not done. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to start something. He knew it could fail. He knew it could succeed. Thankfully, it succeeded. But you know what? That's the kind of things that people my age, when you get into your 40s and later into your 40s, they don't encourage you to do. They're like, you're done. Enjoy it. You're retired. I can't fall into that line, where you just go, are you ever done, really?
Tone, I have friends at my age, like 33, 32, that are already talking about retiring.
I know, it's crazy,
I'm
man.
like, Oh my God! Like that's so sad to me.
I know.
I mean, I don't know. I guess they want to spend time. They're thinking to the future. They want to spend max out the time with their families or with their grandchildren. But you need to keep yourself busy. How many people pass away when they retire?
After they,
that's a very common thing.
But see, now, a lot of them pass away right after they're retired with a job that they hated forever. So like my buddy, you know, he started a new job. He fucking loves getting up every day and going to work. He likes talking to the customers. He didn't know that was in his future. It wasn't something that he planned out. It happened for him because one day he woke up and he said, I want to go do something, you know. I just want to go up and go do something. He didn't ask anybody if they, you know, think it was smart to do. He didn't listen to anybody's advice. He didn't, you know, do anything. He just said, you know what? I'm getting up today, and I'm going to start doing it, you know, doing something different. And when he retires, he'll retire a happy man. You know, he's spent these last years of his life doing something that he's doing for himself. He's enjoying. He's having a good time.
And I know who to hit up for a loan. Hey, Angelo.
Yeah, that's right.
Got in trouble with a bookie.
That's right. But you know, I mean, you know, I would encourage people to find. Maybe you don't get rid of the you know, the job that's paying the bills and stuff like that. But everybody has something they want to do, right?
Right.
I would encourage people to, you know, if you have that time to do it, and if it's not taken away from your family, go out and try something new, man.
Amen.
Because it just really it makes you feel better in a way where you project that back out to the people that love you, and they'll love you for it because you're giving them something good.
Amen.
So, I mean, I know why you're on your path, man, and I think you're killing it. I know why I'm on my path, you know, and I think it's the right way to go, man. I really do.
Thanks, buddy.
So
appreciate it.
There we go. That's another one, brother. So we'll be what do we got going on next week? We're going to probably just be together, or are we going to? We might have a guest. That's right. We might have a buddy of mine, Alfie.
Oh yeah,
You'll
yeah,
like
yeah.
him, man. He's a good guy. So might have a guest next time. If not, it'll be the two of us. So anyway, that's the East Roast Podcast. Take care of yourselves.
Have you ever, you crazy mother?
The East Roast Podcast.
Are you listening? You crazy mother. Damn.